Hello and welcome to another video, and I know it's been a very long time since I've made a new video on the channel. This is my first video back. No, not much has changed. You can see the gigantic ass ton mess behind me. I'm still in the process of cleaning this room up. If I'm being honest, and you guys have probably seen my last two videos, I really haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of cleaning in this room and getting shit set up, so I plan on doing that in the next couple weeks for sure, and this backdrop's gonna look a lot different. So for my first video back, I wanted to do something different than a topic that I've kind of been rolling around in my head for a little bit. That topic is the idea of microtransactions, and specifically, has Fortnite ruined modern video games, specifically competitive multiplayer? And the short answer for me is absolutely. It has really ruined a lot of everything of modern video games. I mean, look at it today. You wouldn't see a game like Halo Infinite launching with a free-to-play multiplayer component. You know, if this was 2015 or, you know, earlier, you would be receiving the next Halo as a complete package. There would be no free-to-play multiplayer. But obviously, that's not the way the industry is today. The industry, everybody is trying to chase that microtransaction dragon, so to speak. And with Halo, they decided to go this route. Now, is it going to work with Halo? I don't know yet. Time will tell for sure on that one. The jury's still out on that. But I just look back on some of the other stuff. Look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a franchise that's already cannibalized itself with Warzone and having a yearly installment, which has confused the player base of Call of Duty. You have those that still play Warzone and they're angry about yearly installments. You have the yearly installment people who don't really like Warzone. It's kind of a back and forth. On the other side of things, you have free-to-play games like Apex Legends. And I know right now I'm mentioning a lot of battle royale games. There aren't always bad free-to-play games. You know, I've mentioned it on this channel a lot, and if I'm being honest right now, it's gonna be on my top 10 game of the year list at the end of the year. That is, of course, the free-to-play game Splitgate, which I have played a metric shit ton of. In the time I was off, and even before then, I have been having a blast with the game, so much to the point that I'm actually concerned about Halo Infinite's multiplayer, if it can be as good as Splitgate, because I think Splitgate really captures the feel of classic Halo the way that I want to see that be. So it's an interesting concept when you think about it, and you think about the idea of, has Fortnite really ruined modern video games? I think it has. I mean, think about the microtransactions in that marketplace today. Think about things like battle passes and skins and, you know, gun charms and weapon skins and loot. All this kind of stuff, you know, was kind of in the background, but then unfortunately Fortnite brought it to the foreground with how successful they've been. And I know I'm sitting here and I'm picking on Fortnite specifically, but if I'm being honest, it's the biggest game in the world. It still is 3 years later, and nothing's really slowing it down. And it's just making the industry worse, in my opinion. I think it's making the industry worse with battle passes. I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest. The first battle pass I've ever purchased for a video game was this new Splitgate one, and even with purchasing that, I've only probably got about 20 levels out of it. I don't know if I'd ever buy another battle pass, because that's just not who I am. That's not how I play games. And for me personally, you might watch this video, you might look at this, you might think, well, he's just an older, out-of-touch gamer. No, that's not it. I mean, look back, you have to take a step back. You have to look at how these things were handled 15, 20 years ago. Think about Halo 2. Think about Halo 3. What was the one biggest thing that kind of divided the fan community around those two games? It was the idea of downloadable content and map packs. The simple fact was, back in 2005, 2006, 2007, people didn't buy map packs. People didn't buy add-on content for video games. And because of that, the player base would suffer, because then those like me who did buy the map packs, those maps wouldn't be in the regular rotation, because if they were, the whole player base would be fractured. You wouldn't have enough people playing matches. You'd never get a match. You look at that then. You look at how staunch people from my era, you know, I'm in my mid 30s. I just had a birthday and realized I'm in my mid 30s, which is really wild when you think about it. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point here is, you know, you think about 15 years ago, you think about where online games were, you think about where gamers were at the time. They didn't want to shell out extra cash for a $60 game. Now you look at this new generation, the generation that's always online, the generation that's always playing multiplayer games, and a generation that's conditioned to purchase multiple microtransactions a day. You know, and then, I mean, you can even get into stuff that's really heinous, like FIFA Ultimate Team and those type of things. I mean, think about it. When I think about it, I think about, you know, a few of the games that I've played in 2021. I'll give a prime example. I just picked up Deathloop. You know what's a really cool thing about Deathloop? It is a $60 video game that I purchased for my PlayStation 5. I don't have to buy anything extra because it's a complete game. And that's really cool. You don't see that there very often anymore. You know, a lot of times you go out, you purchase a video game, you install it, you load it up, and then you're greeted with some online store with, hey, you know what, you just spent $60, $70, why don't you spend another $20? So it's cool to see a game like Deathloop and see that it's just a complete package. You know, I'll give you another example. So right now, behind the scenes, I've played a shit ton of Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's the first Yakuza game I've ever played. Another prime example. There are like very minor microtransactions in the game just to add some different character costumes and whatnot, but you don't ever have to touch that. And otherwise, it's a complete freaking video game. That's really awesome. It's the whole way the industry is going, and you can't help but look at it and see, oh, this is Fortnite. You know, Fortnite caused this. I mean, a lot of people would like to say, well, you know, PUBG came along and PUBG made the Battle Royale thing. That's very true, but look at it this way. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, when that game came out, you paid for that game. It was $30. I bought it. I played it on PC. I bought it on the frickin' Xbox. A terrible, terrible version of the game. I think it runs fine today, but it was not good when it launched. And I got my one chicken dinner, and I never played it again because it ran so horribly. But the point is, that was a $30 game I purchased, and I didn't have to buy anything else for it. Fortnite, it's a free download, and then they're just, you know, ka-ching, ka-ching all the way to the bank. And it is cool, and I saw somebody refer to Fortnite at downloadable skins and battle passes as kind of like McDonald's Happy Meal toys, and I fully agree with that. I mean, look at the characters they've put into that game. You have Batman, you have Superman, you have the Joker, you have Rick and Morty, you have like just all these just obnoxious characters, Master Chiefs in the freaking game, for crying out loud. Now, obviously, most recently, they're going to have Carnage in the game because that shitty Venom movie's coming out in a couple weeks. So, you see, and I see perfectly, the McDonald's Happy Meal analogy, it really clicks with me. I really understand that. So, I'm just curious to know, is it just me? Like, am I going crazy here when I think about this? I look at this and go, man, in the last 5 years, the industry's really pushed towards this way, and I don't know if it's gonna get back to the way that I would like it to be, or if this is just the new norm that, you know, games are gonna be released broken and fixed later, and then, oh, hey, here's some microtransactions, you know? And not to shit on Halo as much. Halo, obviously, I'm going to be as critical as possible, but I also can't wait for Halo. I have such a bitter, I have such a bitter relationship with Halo Infinite because I want it to be a massive return for the Halo franchise, but every time they take one step forward, they take 2 steps back with this game. And so to launch the game in its current state, and I made a video about this you guys can watch, where I think the game should be delayed until March of 2022 so they can put things in that have always been in Halo, like campaign co-op. And so, but you know, you have to know, hey, those microtransactions will be there day one because they have to be. But I look at a game like that and I have a harder time with it because it's still a product you can go to the store and purchase. And then on top of that, they have battle passes and microtransactions and everything. And is that going to hinder this experience? I don't know. But I have to wonder, you know, if a game like Fortnite didn't push the industry this way, would Halo Infinite be this way when it launches in December? I don't know. So I would love to know in the comments below. I know I kind of rambled on this video a little bit. I'm a little bit rusty. You know, I've been off for a month and a half from making video content. Glad to be back. Glad to continue making videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.